What is going on, you Tubanites? Hey, man, it's one of those things where Wolf Blitzer's breaking in with a breaking news story. I always told you guys if I got anything of import, I would break into your regularly scheduled programming. This one I actually knew about yesterday and I teased it, but during the events of the last hour, I got a new scoop from my man, Mikey Sutton. So, like Papa, what's his name, man? What's his name? Fuck it. We'll do it live, man. Shout out to everybody in the live chat who's been so patient since I had to push it back 30 minutes to get my bearings straight. Shout out to Chad Crow, Daniel Ibarra, Wookie Fodder, Ray Cast, Wesley, Six Face Comics. Shout out to Sydney, Johnny Boy, Michael Benson, Aaron Fouts, Travis Comics, T-Ravis Comics. I'm sorry. I always call him Travis. Joey Does Comics. What's up, young man? My man Sil Abdul. Check out Sil Abdul's YouTube channel. I was on there earlier today. Sometimes I just pop in random YouTube live chats and videos, and we were just talking MCU and DCU stuff. It was a great time. So check out my man Sil Abdul Inc. on his YouTube channel. I was on there this morning, bright and early. My man Sith Lordly holding it down with a wrench. Kid Collector Comics. Who's younger, Joey Does Comics or Kid Collector Comics? I want to know. So answer that for me, guys. And the list goes on and on. Thank you guys all for joining. So this is a scoop I got from my man Mikey Sutton over at geekositymag.com. Make sure you check out geekositymag.com. And, it wouldn't be a Lord's show or scoop or live chat or whatever if we didn't break it down. You know what I'm saying? So while you guys are congregating, let's break it down a little. I haven't done the old school one in a bit, man.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my God.
Hold on and get some, boys. In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's three greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard. Laugh it up. Buzz, 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 buzz.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright. In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright. Go on and get some, boys.
Heck, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
What's in the box?
Like a spider monkey.
Hey, would you look at that? Look who joined. Wow, that's how important it is. It's so important. Darkside Jedi go, yo, I need to slide up in there and just make snarky remarks throughout. And
Right.
he will also help hold it down with the wrench. Sith Lordly, Nemesis Brian, hold it down with the wrench. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, I'm good, man. Happy Wednesday.
Happy
new
new comic book
comic book
day
day.
to you guys. But,
Hey, didn't we
we'll
used
get-
to have a Wednesday show?
We used to. We used to have a Thursday show. Actually, it started on Thursday and then went to Wednesday. Maybe I'm trying to think back to 2016, boys and girls. That was a long time ago.
The old school
shout
cat's kicking it with you tonight.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to Robert Kirkman for dropping that stupid ass comic today.
What was it? Like a Michonne alter
It's a
ego? or
Michonne
something?
alternate story. He made a YouTube video to try to make it go viral. Hey, computer writer geeks, just stay in your lane, okay? I mean,
Please.
just stop it. Just stop it. But if you got one, flip it as soon as possible. because apparently there's more of them than people think. But this isn't about that, boys and girls. This is about a scoop that we got from a man, Mikey Sutton. Mikey Sutton may be hovering in the live chat as we speak. There's 81 watching, which is awesome everybody. For 4:30 in the afternoon, and 7:30 on the East Coast.
On the East Coast.
I know a lot of you are in quarantine freeze down with the Snowmageddon 2020 coming your way. So shout out to everybody in the East Coast. You guys are, I'm going to start changing their names from YouTubenites to Quarantinites.
Yeah, right?
Quarantinanites?
Yeah, we'll have to work it around.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work
Corona
it around.
nights. Corona nights. Something,
No, we don't like to say Corona on this show. So
Corona nights.
We don't want to say COVID nights, Quarantina nights, Quaranites, whatever, man. So
it doesn't have to even be ites.
It's something ites because I started that with YouTube.
Oh, you got to have ites, right? Okay.
Yeah. So
I see what you're doing.
All right. So I'm going to read this scoop from a man, Mikey Sutton, verbatim as we normally do. I need to catch my breath because it's a lot of words. And I don't
read
know
it
if you guys
slow,
know.
Enunciate, sibilance.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm dyslexic, so when I read, sometimes it doesn't come out too well. I hide it pretty well, but I have problems with numbers and words. I worship the devil, but I'm dyslexic, so I don't believe in
nines.
It's 999 to me, basically. So, so if you look closely, 999 is on my forehead right there with the demon over my shoulder. All right, so hey, you know what we need to kick it off with? How about some Ron Burgundy?
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
All right, boys and girls. So this was originally just supposed to be a Doctor Strange into the kind of a Doctor Strange multiverse scoop with some details on what they're doing. And then it spread to being a Sony Marvel Spider-Man scoop. And as I'm typing this, Mikey's blowing up my phone saying, I got another scoop for you. So boys and girls, this is like the good old days when we used to go live and just get crazy news just breaking while we're live. So as this goes on and on, I'm going to try to read it.
Well, we had a big one yesterday. Was it yesterday? I can't remember. Days are all together.
All the days blur together. That was Morbius. Nice. The Morbius scoop.
The Morbius one, right.
All right. So let me pull up my notes and you guys just and sit back
and relax.
Sit back, relax, put on your headgear. I'm going to give you a trip through the atmosphere. All right. The following is an exclusive scoop from Mikey Sutton at geekositymag.com. I'm going to read this verbatim as Mikey sent it to me. Oh, damn.
Okay, read it out loud.
No, I just got something else. All right, this is going to go last after everything else. It's short and sweet, but it's the comic speculators in the live chat. Just have eBay open when I tell you what the last thing about this. So, okay, Doctor Strange may be entering the madness of more than one universe in his upcoming sequel. Although it hasn't been officially announced yet, the evidence has piled up. Back in my 2019 scoop of the MCU entering the Spider-Verse will be the focus of Spider-Man 3. As a scoop last week, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will be the finale in what is essentially a third-part tale beginning with WandaVision on Disney+. According to insiders, Feige is planning on opening up the multiverse to beyond Sony's original Spider-Man movies. The reveal there are discussions to feature cameos by members of the first X-Men class. Basically, a fond farewell to the past as the MCU proceeds to the future with rebooted mutants of their own. There are no decisions have been made on which actors will be brought back or if negotiations have begun yet. Obviously, everyone would love to see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine again, but sources tell me if they're going to reel him in, it'll be for something bigger than a few minutes on film. That is, if Jackman would even agree to it. Feige actually has a personal connection to the early X-Men movies. 2000's X-Men was Feige's film debut, working as an associate producer. He was also a co-producer on 2003's X2, but we don't like to talk about that there. So that's the first scoop. So let's unpack that for a minute. As we've been kind of the last year or so, when more of this Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness was happening, we kind of figured out what was going on. And one of our scoops from Mikey way back when was Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness may be the film that introduces some mutants into the MCU. There may be some other films that sprinkle them, but this is where they really have an opportunity where Doctor Strange opens up the multiverse and sees Sony characters. He sees Fox characters, and maybe real quick, maybe killing off Cyclops yet again really fast. Storm, maybe shoot her. Maybe they can ask Storm, hey, do you know what happens to a frog when it gets hit by lightning? And then they shoot her with lightning or something like that. That stupid line. So
right.
So there you go. So the gist of that
cameo.
Okay, and the other part I want to unpack on that is, and I talked about this with my man Sil Abdul on his channel today, that starting with WandaVision, then Spider-Man 3, and then Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is going to be a kind of loose, not loosely, pretty much a 3-part story arc that talks about multiverses, right? Because if you think about WandaVision, who is a magic user, and we already know Doctor Strange is going to be in Spider-Man 3.
Well, wasn't it said that somebody said last week, or again, whenever it was, that it's Wanda that actually opens, or expects that she could be the one opening.
Yeah. We saw the screenshots of Sword. Everybody is trying to pack everybody into this Spider-Man 3 film. I saw reports today that now Venom is going to be in Spider-Man 3. So I don't know about that. I'll wait for confirmation from
Mikey Sutton. See Thomas Hayden Church is coming back. That's good.
Sandman. Yeah. All that does is spell out the Sinister Six, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But,
remind me, they didn't kill Mysterio, did they? Or did he die?
Kind of. We don't really know. He pretended like he died, but nobody.
Yeah, we'll see. Nobody dies.
We have time travel and multiverses involved. Because I remember one of our first scoops was Into the Multiverse of Madness was going to introduce a version of Quicksilver into WandaVision's or into Scarlet Witch's world to bring her brother back. So I don't know which version. Maybe they'll see the Fox version, but they'll pull out the original one. So that's quite possibly, I'm just purely speculating. This isn't Mikey's scoop, but I can see her saying no more mutants, and she wipes out the entire history of the Fox films. Right? Wow. Just as as a little goodbye, and then poof, you're gone, and then they start the mutants up again, kind of like in what they did with the House of M. So. There you go, man. That's
amazing. If this comes to fruition, this is the part I love. All the speculation, the what ifs.
Yeah. Speaking of what if, that cartoon that animation.
It does look very cool.
I'm probably the most excited for What If over all of them because I'm a huge What If fan, and the animation looks incredible. But so for those who are thinking, WandaVision is not my cup of tea, watch it anyway, just for the clues and Easter eggs are going to build up to Into the Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man 3 are coming out to be gigantic films. This is essentially like a Civil War film where it's like an Avengers 2.5 is what it's
with all these characters, it seems like it's almost an infinity, an end game.
I know, right?
The gates open and here they come.
To be honest with you, they went so big with those films. It's like now it's like, how do we do it to one up one? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
and we already talked about Mephisto is going to be coming, but I don't know when he's going to debut, but the next Doctor Strange film they talked about already is going to be Triumph and Torment, which is the graphic novel with Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom. Don't try to spec that because it's a trade. It was a hardcover graphic novel, so but you can get it anyway. You know why? Because it's a great freaking read. Mike Mignola did the art on it. It's fantastic. All right, on to scoop number 2, and just so I can catch my breath, let me give you the Ron Burgundy again for the second scoop.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Oh, look at that. A different graphic.
Fancy.
So, yeah. This was just dropped by Mikey. He gave it to me literally an hour ago, and I had to push this show back 30 minutes. I was actually soaking in the tub, enjoying a nice Epsom salt hot bath for my back. You know what I'm saying?
Were you listening to like Enya or like
I was just not listening to anything. I was in so much back pain. I was just laying there, like just enjoying the silence, as they like to say.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah. All right. This is coming from a man, Mikey Sutton. There we go. One more time. A potential new deal between Disney and Sony can not only deliver more Spider-Man collaborations between the two, but new live action TV shows as well. Ever since Disney and Sony signed a new agreement for Spider-Man rights back in 2019, fans have wondered, even worried, about the future of the character in the MCU. Yesterday, I was told by insiders that another contract was on the verge of being signed by Disney and Sony. And I teased it on my personal Facebook page with a picture of Kevin Feige and Tom Holland. That's Mikey Sutton right there. If you haven't peeped it out, go check out the Geekosity Facebook page as well as at geekositymag.com. Shameless plug. Details are scarce, but sources tell me that the deal will keep Spider-Man in the MCU for an additional 3 solo movies with an option for more.
Wait, okay, so an additional 3
to what? So right now he's on a 3-picture contract right now. So the third Spider-Man film would effectively, end that contract, but they figured he was going to go on. But they, then Sony and Marvel would have to remember when the Sony and Marvel did a quick divorce?
Yeah.
So they had to strike up a new deal to make like the third Spider-Man film and get everything back rolling. And, it's always been a back and forth or two, but we can all safely say Sony lost that negotiation.
Well, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cash cow for them, just allowing Disney to do what they're going to do with it.
But, but Sony does have the trump card, no pun intended, because Spider-Man is arguably Kevin Feige's favorite character. So, you know what I mean? So he will do a little extra to get Spider-Man in the MCU because that is Kevin Feige. That's, it's Marvel Comics to him started with Spider-Man. And I would say Fantastic Four too. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
All right, so details are scarce, but sources tell me the deal will keep Spider-Man in the MCU for an additional 3 solo movies with an option for more. This means the college years of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which will be the focus of the second trilogy, are going to be under the supervision of Marvel Studios if the contract is signed. And most that is going to happen. Both Disney and Sony realize the financial significance of partnering with this IP, as Ryan was just saying. Rumors circulated a few months ago that Amazon coveted Sony's planned live-action TV programs, but I'm told that Disney wanted to keep them included with their streaming rights in the latest agreement. Disney Plus is a priority for the company during the global pandemic, when theaters are closed and dying as a result. To Sony, which has no streaming platform to toss them onto, Disney Plus would be their biggest, most appropriate landing place, as they can also do crossover into MCU shows. Clearly, the potential of, for example, Miles Morales' Spider-Man hanging out with the Young Avengers or maybe Luke Cage on Disney Plus has explosive potential. Infinitely more so than on Amazon, where it would be legally impossible. The streaming arrangement would also include Spider-Man films that Feige produces for Marvel Studios. Feige's involvement with the Sony Spider-Verse movies would increase as well should this go through intact. No word yet if this deal has been signed or what was altered. Insiders added the bell cannot be unrung and it could be signed in a matter of days. Wow. That's huge.
Wow. Yeah.
So let's unpack that a little bit. So back to what Mikey was saying about Amazon not being. So if Amazon were to get the streaming rights to Sony's, right, they would be in their own sandbox, because Marvel's not going to work with Amazon to do anything over. Right. But Sony is realizing the synergy of the two together. So signing a new deal saying, hey, why don't we put these shows that we want to work on and stream them exclusively on Disney Plus, right? We all know the weird shows they've been talking about, like what was that? Madam Web and some other things. So, but with Feige maybe being more a producer on it than I would think the quality. But this opens up Disney Plus, Miles Morales, part of the Young Avengers, all the young heroes together. I mean, that's huge if this deal goes through. So basically it's Sony and Disney being more in tune with another. And to be honest with you, this is not necessarily about Disney and Sony. This is about Disney going up against Netflix. This is definitely part of the streaming wars, the HBO Max included. This is Disney and Sony partnering together would really, really put a hamper on what Netflix is doing. Amazon does a great job because they have quality movies. They have quality shows, but Netflix they don't really have that much intellectual property. Oh, and by the way, Amazon is doing Lord of the Rings. That's huge. That is a huge
Amazing.
intellectual
I can't
property.
wait. Yeah.
Huge intellectual property that they're going to be getting. So this is for the next, I mean, I hate to say it, but for the next at least 6 months.
Sony with Disney only makes sense. It doesn't make sense. Amazon doesn't make sense at all.
Sony and Disney together as a partnership, since they kind of have all their partners, and it's like you said, it works for both, right? If they can come out and do it. Imagine Disney saying, "Hey man, we got this Sony show, this character Black Widow or Black Cat. All right, put her on this Disney Plus show," and they can, because actually, to be honest with you, Sony has IP for a lot of street level characters. If you think about it, right? All part of the kind of Spider-Man world. Besides Venom, who's gone absolutely cosmic right now. And speaking of which, not a single word of Venom in this entire scoop here. So we'll see how that plays out with Carnage and everything. But imagine if Feige does start doing that R-rated stuff they're talking about for Disney Plus and Hulu, and Punisher and Venom.
The internet would break.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Hell yeah, it would be awesome. And there's so much more, like you said.
Yeah, and then Joe was talking about Hulu. Is the last I had heard that there was rumors that Hulu and Disney Plus were going to merge, and it was somewhat similar to a Disney Plus, a parental unlock for it. So you put in whatever password to get you into the Hulu side for all the R-rated stuff, and the reason that merger wants it to happen is because Hulu, through contracts, are limited on what their budgets are, right? And Feige doesn't want to do anything low budget. Hellstrom, for what it was okay. It was a bit low budget. Runaways, all those shows, a bit low budget. But imagine getting those street level characters and then putting them onto Disney Plus and getting that Disney budget that Kevin Feige has. Yeah. Like Netflix, those were really high budgets because Netflix was paying for them. Marvel wasn't paying for them. Marvel TV wasn't paying for them. And that's quite possible the reason why they actually split. Another question is, what the hell did they spend all the money on? Because some of that would look kind of low budget. Iron Fist. I'm talking about you Finn Jones is a curly haired fucker.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Yes, I sprinkled
got that in your bingo card. Just mark it down.
Yeah. So if you have any questions in the live chat, pose them up, Ryan, and then if you can check out the live chat and just tell me if there's anything good in there that we can try to answer. Since we have time, there's so much to read here. All right. Well, I'll get to the third scoop for you dirty, greedy speculators out there, and it's really quick. Felicia Hardy is planned for Spider-Man 4. There you go. Felicia Hardy is the Black Cat. She's being planned for Spider-Man 4. Go get the first appearance of the Black Cat if you already haven't. But that's what I'm hearing right now. Felicia Hardy planned for Spider-Man 4. And we talked about this before with Mikey, that the next trilogy of Spider-Man films is going to be college-bound Spider-Man, just like in the comic books and just to be the animated series. He kind of started in high school and then he goes to college, and then eventually I would say the third trilogy, or maybe it's him getting work at the Daily Bugle finally. I mean, luckily, I don't think Tom Holland ever ages, so they can really do whatever they want.
Isn't he like 62 or something?
He's 35, and he has children. I don't know, but he looks pretty young. So there you go, boys and girls. That is Felicia Hardy is planned for Spider-Man 4. That is your comic spec of the day.
Wow, that's awesome.
So go out and get those. So for those joining late, and there's quite a few, there's 173 of you watching. I will read all these again as best I can. So let me give you some Ron Burgundy as I take a sip of water here for the scoops.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Okay. For all of those joining right now, 172 of you, I'm going to go all these scoops again so that just in case you missed it the first time, appreciate you guys hanging out. 172 of you, almost 5 p.m. on the West Coast. So for those on the East Coast, stay warm. Stay
cold
warm.
Out there. It's cold.
All right, so there's 2 scoops of this, just like Raisin Bran. So there you go. For all you old school people remember that commercial. 2 scoops of raisin. Anyway. All right. Following is an exclusive scoop from Mikey Sutton at geekocitymag.com. Doctor Strange may be entering the madness of more than one universe in his upcoming sequel. Although it hasn't been officially announced yet, the evidence has piled up that my 2019 scoop of the MCU entering the Spider-Verse will be the focus of Spider-Man 3. As I scooped last week, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will be the finale in what is essentially a three-part tale beginning with WandaVision on Disney+. According to insiders, Feige is planning on opening up the multiverse to beyond Sony's original Spider-Man films. The reveal there are discussions featuring cameos by members of the first X-Men cast, basically a fond farewell to the past as the MCU proceeds to the future with rebooted mutants of their own. There are no decisions made on which actors will be brought back or if negotiations have begun yet. Obviously, everyone will want to see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine again, but sources tell me that if they're going to reel him in, it would be for something bigger than just for a few minutes on film. That is, if Hugh Jackman would even agree to it. Feige actually has a personal connection to the early X-Men. He was 2000's X-Men was Feige's film debut as an associate producer. He was also a co-producer on 2003's X2. So there you go. So basically, let's unpack that again. WandaVision, Spider-Man 3, and Into the Multiverse of Madness will be a kind of a 3-story arc. And you can tell Spider-Man 3's cast is growing and growing by days. WandaVision deals with the kookiness of multiverses and magic. It's right in there with Doctor Strange and everything that's going on. Rachel McAdams is coming back. Nobody made a big deal about that. I wonder if they're ever just going to turn her into Clea. I mean, Doctor Strange's love interest, but Rachel McAdams is going to come back for Doctor Strange 2. They said it during the Disney investor call. And also the kind of a way of, paying homage or to say goodbye to some of the X-Men characters. And it's also a cheap way to kill off the X-Men characters and then bring in new ones from a different multiverse. I mean,
I think you're right. You're right on the nose about the, what did she say? No more mutants.
Yeah, no more mutants. And then she just wipes out that multiverse. And then, they have a new multiverse of mutants that come, and Doctor Strange kind of fix it all. But super stoked. Not, I didn't even wear my cloak of levitation because it's a little too warm in my room, but I'm super stoked for this Doctor Strange.
Watch your mouth too warm.
Easily $1 billion, right? This Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness.
Huge. Bigly.
All right, let's get on to the second scoop.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
All right, my man Ron Burgundy knows at a party, you know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. As you can see on the screen, this is Sony and Disney. This is just dropped about 30 minutes ago. A potential new deal between Disney and Sony could not only deliver more Spider-Man film collaborations between the two, but new live-action TV shows as well. Ever since Disney and Sony signed a new agreement for Spider-Man film rights in 2019, fans have wondered, even worried about the future of the character in the MCU. Yesterday, I was told by insiders that another contract was on the verge of being signed by Disney and Sony. Details are scarce, but sources tell me the deal will keep Spider-Man in the MCU for an additional 3 solo movies with an option for more. That means the college years of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which will be the focus of the second trilogy, are going to be under the supervision of Marvel Studios if the contract is signed, and most likely it will. Both Disney and Sony realize the financial significance of partnering with this intellectual property. Rumors circulated a few months ago that Amazon coveted Sony's planned live-action TV programs, but I'm told that Disney want them as well and included in their streaming rights in the latest agreement. Disney Plus is a priority for the company during the global pandemic when theaters are closed and dying as a result. That's a damn shame, actually.
Yeah.
To Sony, which has no streaming platform to toss them onto, Disney Plus would be their biggest, most appropriate landing place as they can also cross over into MCU shows. Clearly, the potential, for example, Miles Morales hanging out with the Young Avengers or Luke Cage and Disney Plus has explosive potential. Infinitely more so than Amazon, wherein it would be legally impossible to have the, Luke Cage and the Young Avengers on an Amazon show. The streaming agreement would include Spider-Man films that Feige produces for Marvel Studios. Feige's involvement with the Sony Spider-Verse movies would increase as well should this go through intact. No word yet if this deal has been signed yet or what was altered. Insiders added that the bell cannot be unrung and it could be signed in a matter of days. There you go, boys and girls.
Awesome.
So get to see our beautiful faces now. So
again, twice in a row.
So essentially what that means is Sony really doesn't have, I mean, if you think about it, it's just Time Warner Media, CBS, Viacom, who else? Peacock, those, but, does Sony really want to be on Peacock as a free streaming service? But like you said, Sony limits themselves on what they can do if they sign with any of these other streaming companies. Sony knows their library is maybe vast, but there's so many Gibbons you can put on the screen or manuals you can put on the screen. Morbius, I've always said Spider-Man has a great rogues gallery right up there with Batman, but the supporting characters or his allies, is pretty limited. You got Venom, Black Hat,
yeah,
some other new Silk, and those other ones, but we heard that there's a Silk live action coming as well. Imagine that on Disney Plus. That would be incredible because then they're all street level characters. So, and this also gives us more Marvel controlled Spider-Man films where they, Kevin Feige can do the narrative, and it's a win-win for Sony. Sony just puts up the money, but they also get all the money back. Where Marvel or Disney, they do get the creative control of it, and I think they may get a small percentage, but for the most part,
I don't see the problem.
It's a
seems
win-win
like a brilliant
for
idea. Yeah, right.
Because when Spider-Man crosses over to say an Avengers film, that's all Disney, right? Mm-hmm. Sony doesn't get any. I don't think Sony gets any of that.
They probably get there's probably a deal.
Yeah,
they get something.
Yeah. When it's the Stiltman show. So, for Sony, they were going forward with all these kind of weird shows that we were talking about, like Madam Web and some other. Remember, there was a Silver Sable Black Hat show. And the third scoop, by the way, if all this goes through, they're planning to have Felicia Hardy debut in Spider-Man 4.
Boom.
First appearance of the Black Cat, I do believe, is Amazing Spider-Man number 194, a very, very undervalued book. I would think that book would have gotten bigger when she had played such an important role in the PS4 game. I'm talking about the PS4 game, and they were playing the PS5 game. Jesus Christ!
Right, you're so old. Jeez,
but and I think Disney and Marvel also sees on the Sony side, they're doing some great stuff. Look at what they did with Miles Morales with the video game and with the Into the Spider-Verse. That animated movie is incredible. The animation on it just top notch. Nothing we've ever seen before.
Probably the best animated superhero movie.
It was comic panels
on my list
on the screen.
And if you watched it in 3D,
it was like you were inside a comic book.
You were inside of a comic book, and the soundtrack was great. The coloring, everything was good.
Eddie Gomez asked Russo brothers direct X-Men. Probably, I don't know. They've kind of been doing a lot of stuff already, so you never know. Marvel likes to tap new directors. John Watts has been tapped to do the Fantastic Four film. He just coming off doing the last two Spider-Man films, and Sam Raimi is now doing the third Spider-Man film, Spider-Man 3. So, you never know. I would think Russo's would probably want to do Avengers again if it's ever comes back to it. But, they got so much stuff already. I'm pretty sure X-Men stuff is planned.
I don't think Avengers is real. Avengers as we know it won't be back. It'll be iteration.
It'll be Avengers. It'll be a new team, though. Thor's still around. He's going to be doing films. There's still Falcon, there's still Winter Soldier, there's still a lot of characters there, and the Young Avengers. We're already starting to see it. There's two characters.
Well, wasn't there spec on Illuminati?
Yeah, well,
so they could have that in the background, I guess, right?
Yeah. What's interesting is with we already got two of the Young Avengers cast. So obviously Kate Bishop and Cassie Lang was just cast. Actually, the actress they got for her looks more like the character in the comic, Stature, who was a blonde, whereas Cassie Lang in the last movie.
She was wasn't she the girl from Supernatural?
I think so.
She was the little girl, the girl that got bit and they changed her back, and she was with
She was most recently in a really good film called Freaky, which is, if you took that film Freaky Friday, made it R and a slasher gory film, then you have this film called Freaky with Vince Vaughn.
Oh, that yes, I saw trailers for that. That does. Well,
You
you
should
saw it.
peep
Was
it
it
out.
good?
It's
Okay.
it's on digital right now. It's definitely worth it. It's like a Freaky Friday, but then it's like super gory too. So no thing has been cast yet. They have the most recent rumor I heard from our friends over at Small Screen was Darcy. I think his name is Darcy Montgomery. He basically played the older brother, or he played the older guy from Stranger Things. That's the latest word I heard about the casting for Johnny Storm. It's all but done now. That John Krasinski and Emily Blunt will be playing Reed Richards and Sue Storm. That's done.
That's just an obvious. That's the most obvious casting
I
choice.
mean, yeah. I mean, people, the internet willed it pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where that is. And that's it, man. So that's a lot of moving stuff, man. So, yeah. So tomorrow, poor Ryan too. He had to create the graphics for it.
Still,
This
I
is
haven't even. I'm not done.
by far our biggest show of the year tomorrow.
And I won't even be able to join you. Oh,
I
I'm
know,
so
I'm sorry.
disappointed.
A lot of cats won't be able to join. It'll be me, Otto. I'm trying to get our friend David from Beyond Blast Doors because there's a lot of Star Wars stuff. Basically, tomorrow's Shaker Show is the regular Shakers as well as all the books that really moved from the Disney earnings calls. So it's a Shakers list and a Disney earnings Shakers list. Books that couldn't make the top 10 because they were single sales of high dollar amounts. So think about that. And there's about 15 or 25 of them. So sit back, relax on Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be at least an hour show. So we're gonna rock that. So you ain't got nothing to do. You'll be in a goddamn blizzard, most of you.
Probably.
So, yeah. So there you go. So make sure. And if Friday after this week, I'm gonna be totally tired. We've gone. Shit. It'll be like 4 days in a row. Friday, I have a special live edition of Letters from the Long Box, and Mikey has teased me that during that live show, he will tell me a big scoop because he wants to see my reaction on camera.
All
But
right.
I don't know
Must
what it
be
is
big.
yet. So normally I pre-record the Letters of the Long Box, but Friday I'm going to go live and read all of the questions. And maybe if you have some questions in the live chat, we can answer those as well. But Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, huge Shakers lifts for friends from Cover Price. Let's just say the Disney earning call really shook up the comic book market.
Yes, it
And
is.
not just that. Hey, Jesse, I sent you a message, man. Check your Facebook, Jesse. Putting you on the spot, but seeing if you wanted to come on the show Thursday, Jesse. A lot of pressure.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I've
So
seen the list. It's pretty friggin' amazing.
It is. It's huge, and we just want to cover the comic book side of it because it's amazing how it shook up comics.
One what was it? It wasn't a 24-hour deal. It was like a couple hours or like an hour.
Yeah. I mean,
1 hour changed the comic book.
No, it was
market.
a 4-hour presentation. But it was Star Wars, and then they did something in between that, and then Marvel was the last. I sat through the entire 4-hour thing because I was like, man, this is gonna be boring. I'm like, oh, Nat Geo, shit, I'm down. I love nature shows. You know what I mean? If anything, you kids are too soft nowadays. Back in the days
I
when
love
we had
that
nature
shit.
shows, kids are crying and bawling their eyes out because animals are getting killed on screen.
Man, there was a show, Animal Fight Night. That was awesome.
Animal fight night.
Yeah, it was like when two elks are trying to mate, and they just beat the
You
shit
remember
out of
those
each other.
old
Two big
nature
bears.
shows, man?
Yeah.
The gazelle will get chased down by the lion, and they would just show him eating everybody. So, yeah.
It happened.
Any
It's
scoop
nature,
on
man.
a thing casting as Spike Lee directing Blade? No. Spike Lee. I haven't heard. No, I haven't heard anything about that. Where did that come from? Thing. I mean, that's an interesting thing because it really they would do a CGI version of the thing, right? So get a good voice actor. I'm pretty sure Ben Grimm will have some screen time, but is Michael Chiklis too old? Because I thought he did a great.
Yeah,
Ben
I thought he
Grimm.
was great.
Yeah, but that
It's the
last
one guy
dude,
I keep going to.
that Josh Trank, that was awful. That was awful, man. I mean, you just need to get a short, Tom Hardy would make a great, I would think would make a great Ben Grimm because, but he's already over there doing his thing. So we shall see. So that's it, boys and girls. Yeah, that's a lot. And we ain't even,
digest that
and we ain't even done for
on
the
a
week.
Wednesday night.
Tomorrow, huge Shaker show, man. We got the regular top 10 Shakers, as well as a huge Shakers list just from, and it's not just Marvel, it's Star Wars comics. A lot of Star Wars books are on this list as well. So hopefully we get my man from Beyond the Blast Doors, Jesse, open invitation. Check your direct message on Facebook, and then we'll go from there. So see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. and don't miss out the Letters in the Long Box on Friday. And if you haven't, go check out our show from yesterday. It was pretty fun, man.
It was fun. Was it yesterday?
Damn, it was yesterday. Believe it or not.
It just seems like. Anyway, I've said it 100 times.
Yeah. All right, boys and girls. So I will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific. Until next time, keep digging in them long boxes, and I'll leave you guys with a little something. Peace.
Now let's do this!
Rewind, select, and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last. Jump.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is update. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it! We're here. We're back. Word up. Can't do my job. You can't get fresher than this.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice.
Oh, how so?
I'll be too busy